Where'd you meet that Debbie, Steve? Tinder. Yeah, I'm familiar with Tinder. That's is that new restaurant on Deansgate? Steve? Time to say goodbye, my Ezzy, yeah, that's the one. VanCam, it's here. Are you ready for it? You best be. That was my little fitting tribute to Fußball, what is he, Deutschland Fußballmeister himself, Bastian Schweinsteiger. It's time to say goodbye. As harsh as it is, mate. Really gutted it's not worked out. I'm sure you could still do better than Fellaini, but I mean, he's not even been included on the team photo for this season, has he? So that tells you everything you need to know. Another absentee off this year's photo, or official club photo, was the FA Cup. People are speculating why, and maybe people are saying it's because Mourinho didn't win it. I think I've come to the conclusion it's because United haven't got it back yet. If we go back, United won the FA Cup back in May, and Louis van Gaal brought it into the press conference after the match, minus the lid, because apparently it fell off and broke. So Louis van Gaal then went to Portugal, didn't he? So he just took it with him. He thinks because he won it, he's just took it with him. I don't think he realises it has to be returned, you know, to go on display at United. So he's taken it off to Portugal, where he's been on a mammoth drinking session since. And I think that he brings it in every bar, every day he's on the lash. He's turned into one of them twisted old men. He goes round mithering everyone in the pub, and he brings the cup in to the bar and just puts it up, and the bartenders fill the FA Cup. He's drinking it, having the time of his life, and mithering holidaymakers, saying Louis van Gaal's army, telling them tales of when he once managed Manchester United. So I think I've cleared that up. That's where the FA Cup's gone. Louis van Gaal's still got it, and he's still on his binging session talking shite about the days when he managed Man United. Right, that's that covered. Straight into it. The Chelsea game. I'm really tempted here just to put on my rose-tinted Man United specs and just give it a bit of a wide berth, because I don't know what else to say about it, really. Defensively, dog shit. Really bad. I don't blame Mourinho. He had a game plan, and when you concede a goal within 30 seconds, what can you do with that? And especially a defensive error like that. Mourinho must have been pulling his silver hair out at the side of the pitch. There's only so much he can do. You know, it's up to the players to go out and perform. We did have chances, but the thing with me, I think Mourinho, classic after the game, deflect the worst result under, what was it, in his managerial career, Premier League, deflect it straight away. Now he's gone over to Conte, whispered something in his ear and walked off, and the next day everybody was more or less on about that. So it did take the shine off, it did the job, and he did it. He's done it all his career. He's good at deflecting criticism from his players, and he takes it onto him. That's how much of a mighty man he is. But my mate Dizzy Dave from Didsbury, he reckons, Dizzy Dave did a bit of lip reading, you know, when he went to Salford University. He reckons that Mourinho went up to Conte and whispered in his ear and said, "You're all rent boys, mate. Every single one of you Chelsea bastards are fucking rent boys." That's Dizzy Dave, and do you know what? I believe him, because Dizzy Dave, I'm sure he got a distinction in lip reading. So that's what he told me, and he's a good pal of mine. I think it's true, me. I really do. But whether they are rent boys or whatever, they got the job done on us. They were delighted. All that shit after the match, one step beyond. telly went off. I hate that. And Chelsea have won the Premier League title. Not quite, but that's what you get in it when you're a United fan. These teams love beating United still, which is nice to know. Which moved us nicely on to a very much needed win, really, against Man City in the shitty EFL Cup. Don't get me wrong, I'd like to win it. And it's a cup that Mourinho's been successful in, and he put a strong team out. If any City fans start commenting and saying Manchester United won, Manchester City reserves 0, don't buy into that. Do not buy into it. It's not our fault. Pep Guardiola must have thought that team was good enough to go out and get a result. They weren't. We played a full strength team from the players that we could pick. Could not give a shit. It was a derby. And that's end of. It was a derby. 9,000 whatever City fans made the trip, the short journey over from Stockport. They were there. They all wanted to win it. I'm sure, you know, that even when they heard the team, they weren't thinking, oh, this is our reserve team, we've got no chance. They'd have been confident. They brought on Aguero. You know, they tried bringing on the big guns, Sterling, said they wanted to win it. Pep got it wrong, and I think we fully deserved it. Getting a bit fed up of that City press and all that shit playing out from the back, but it's a good game. Good game. Great for Mata. Really sort of stamping his authority now, and I think he's becoming established #1 sort of first team player. But again, it just remains to be seen whether Mourinho's 100% confident in him. I am. City fans smashed the toilets up. Fair play. Brilliant that. Banter. #bants. What else from that match? Oh, sorry. Do you know what? I'm going back to the Chelsea game. There was something I wanted to cover. The result was bad enough, 4-0. After the match, this nonsense with Ibrahimovic laughing and joking with, you know, old teammates, international teammates, swapping shirts, laughing. Save that shit for the dressing room, the tunnel, and somewhere where people have paid good money to go and watch United cannot see. Because it's one thing I can't stand. It's like knobheads who try swapping shirts at half time when they're getting beat, you know, because they want a shirt or any of that. It's just modern day football. Walk off the pitch. Go over to the United fans. Applaud them for making the journey, you know, and at least appreciate the fact that they sang at 4-0 down, outsang a Chelsea crowd, which is why Conte was trying to get the Chelsea fans going. Which brings me on to another one from the Chelsea match. Spare a thought, right? If you thought you had a bad day, when I turned that telly off on Sunday after the United match, pissed off to fuck, big time, 4-0, just been battered, well, in the terms of the result. Mate of mine went to the game, won't mention any names, Mr. X. Made the long journey on the coach, whatever, 4 or 5 hours, making his way to the ground. Rent boys ambushed them, the group of lads, and in self-defence, Mr. X threw out a few haymakers, a few windmills, got out Zlatan and Fosu Menzu, and got arrested by the police, Metropolitan Police. This before the game, on the way to the match. So he gets arrested, spends the night in a cell. Next day, wakes up, obviously a bit hungover, a bit bruised and beaten, a few broken ribs. They let him out. He's got 2 buses to get to the train station and a train home, which in total cost him 300 quid. And had to work in ring in work on the Monday as well, while he was making his way back to Manchester. To inform work he wouldn't be in. They said you can't take a holiday because you haven't got one, so he had to take it unpaid. So he went to Chelsea, missed the match, which he didn't really miss much, did he? But spent the night in a cell, missed his bus home, 2 buses, train, which cost him 300 quid to get home. So bear that in mind, folks. If you had a bad day on Sunday, Mr. X got it even worse. And he paid the price, big time. So, Burnley this weekend. If anyone watched the VanCam the other week, I think it was the Stoke one, it's gonna sound a bit similar. Because Burnley is a horrible place. 99.9% of people that live in Burnley want to get out of there. The other 0.1% are just pissing around. But when I've been to Burnley a couple of times, and it certainly wasn't for pleasure, because you're not getting any pleasure in Burnley. It's windows up, doors locked, secure the vehicle, and just pass in and get the hell out of there as quick as you can. I went to Burnley last time, driving down the road. Within a space of a minute, I seen somebody lay sprawled across a pavement. You know when Louis van Gaal did that thing with Arsene Wenger when he dropped to the floor. This old guy was just lay in the middle of the pavement, so nobody could get around him. Lay, like I say, Louis van Gaal on the floor with a can of special brew. You know, I'm looking at him. Why not, I suppose? It was a nice day. I seen a three-legged dog running down the road with the words C, or the letters C-U-N-T, spray painted onto the dog. And that was sort of, was it running? Well, you can run with three legs, yeah. I suppose it was sort of maybe running, hopping down the road. What else did I say? Oh, somebody else was hugging a lamppost and laughing on his own. And I think I just realised it was only a minute previous I'd just passed a sign that said welcome to Burnley. I was there. Houses boarded up, factories shut. I was just glad to get out of there. But yeah, I mean, I've been looking, extensive research has been done this week, but instead of the usual, I've been on the Opta site to look at Burnley. So I can tell you, Louis van Gaal Filer facts, just a couple of percentages, because, oh shit, I like to break it down usually, but... So, 90% of people in Burnley do not work. 99% of people from Burnley have starred in an episode of Jeremy Kyle, and 98% of people from Burnley use special brew lager as mouthwash. There is another one here actually. That other percentage that fills it up to 100%, I think that they use white spirits. The summary: inbred wankers. And they are. I mean, we're on about... Have you ever seen that Danny Dyer Football Factories thing, and you see the Burnley one? Stone Island coats, you know, hey up, and all that shit. All bald heads, shaven heads. There is a genuine reason to that. It's because they'll buy a set of clippers between a family and everyone's getting a shaven head. Because it's just not cost effective to go to a hairdresser's every month or every couple of weeks and spend £5 on a haircut. Yeah. Yeah. So, Burnley, I think we're beating them. We are beating them. I'm really confident. I'll be there. United are going to put a full strength team out. How can he not? If anything, do you know what? Zlatan's performance against City in the second half was alright. Made a good chance for Pogba. Created the goal. His first half, I've got to say, if he had a big bushy head and he was called Marawan, he'd have been in for dog's abuse off me. And to be honest, that's a bit the way Zlatan's been at the minute. In and out of games, but I think he's always been like that. He's a Berbatov kind of lackadaisy, you know. He gets stick because he doesn't look like he's really putting in much effort, but when he does make things happen, they are quite special. And he made the goal which won us the game, so I'm happy with that. I am happy with it. What else have I got to touch on? I think that's more or less it. I'm just having a think here. Oh, a few weeks ago, forgot to mention. I hope I get this name right because it is stored in my head, but I do go a bit mad on the weekends sometimes, so the memory does get lost. But I can't remember what game it was now, but I was outside Hotel Football. Outside Hotel Football, going in for a pint before the match, and I heard Mr. Ashford. So, Mr. Ashford! It's a Welsh accent, by the way, if you're not picking that up. Mr. Ashford, I think it was the third time, so I've looked again, I thought, surely somebody's not addressing me as Mr. Ashford. Sure, his name is Owen Saunders. Saunders does sound Welsh. Yeah, I'm sure it's Owen Saunders, mate. If I've got your name wrong, I'm sorry. Come over to me, shook the paw, said he loved VanCam. I think his wife or girlfriend or whatever watches it as well, which is great. And just a quick chat really before I went in to get a pint. He just said he loves it and watches it every week. So that's about the fourth person now who's said that they like it. It's great, man. It's great. Living the life, me. Not going to give up my day job quite yet, as you can see in the office here. But anyway, I've got to get back to work. Enjoy the Burnley match. If you're at it like me, just give them dogs abuse. Point over, you know, because they got no teeth. Just take the piss out of them. They'll all have bald head Stone Island coats on. They'll be raging because they see this as a derby because they live down the road. You know, we hate Man United and all that, whereas we'll just laugh at them when we beat them. What? I reckon we're going to do them about 3-0, me. And I think this is the game. Everyone might say it's a bit of a false dawn against Fenerbahce with Paul Pogba. You know, he played well then, and then the next performance wasn't as great. But I reckon this is the game where, on a Premier League level, Paul Pogba arrives, folks. You heard it here first. That is a safety helmet. It goes on the head. If you're asking why, it's purely for health and safety reasons. Because when I smash the fuck out of my head now as a shout out Man United, I'm not getting brain damage. Come on, United! Oh, fuck. I need to get an early night tonight. It started with a kiss. Never thought it would come to this.